This is Terry with your August supermoon in Aquarius astrology reading. And how are you doing now? We've had some overwhelming energy coming at us this month, and it's only going to get more chaotic and crazy as we go along. Who could use an energy clearing right about now? I'm just doing a little energy clearing with this lapis lazuli and sending you some distance Reiki to support your journey as we have 4 supermoons in a row coming in hot on August, September, October, and in November, taking us all the way through the election. 4 supermoons in a row. Pretty powerful stuff and a lot of energy. And if you don't know, a supermoon is when the moon is within 90% of its closest perigee to the earth, meaning it's coming in so close. They look bigger, they feel more intense. There's just a lot of energy coming at us for the next 4 months. Get ready. This is going to be stirring up our subconscious mind, giving us incredible dream downloads and really causing us to feel all the feels, because the moon rules over our emotions. And we're even going to have that lunar eclipse in the Pisces supermoon in September. I'll talk more about that in just a moment. But everything is heating up now as Venus is rising, as the evening star getting stronger and brighter every day, bringing in that divine feminine rising as we have this female presidential candidate in Kamala Harris. Can you even believe this is happening? I predicted this months ago when I did her astrology chart reading. So many people said I was crazy, and here we are. We truly can have our first female president win this fall. It's kind of incredible. But then we have this critical Jupiter squaring Saturn, dun dun dun, at the same time that Jupiter will be conjunct Mars in Gemini this month. Who's my Geminis? You're going to be feeling all this. And then Mercury, Sun, Cazimi happening as Mercury is still retrograde. We have that Mercury, Sun, Cazimi opposing this full moon. Just so much to unpack, as that Mercury, Sun, Cazimi will also be square Uranus in Taurus at that critical degree, 29 degrees, and all those retrograde planets, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Mercury, Chiron, did I say Neptune? Yeah, who am I forgetting? There's so many retrograde planets traveling backwards right now, invoking all the fears that our wishes might not come true. I like to say, don't feed the fears, just like they say, don't feed the bears, don't feed your fears. Because there's a lot of fears coming out that things might not work out, that our plans aren't going to happen. And let's not forget the solar storms. Whew, we had some smoking hot X1 all the way to X14 solar storms in this last month of August, really bringing on those solar storm symptoms for a lot of us and threatening our electrical grid, perhaps causing internet outages. And for those of us who are a little more in tune to the energetic frequencies, it has been a very intense August, full of a lot of crazy otherworldly dreams. Maybe you've had energetic downloads. Let me know if you've had any of these solar storm symptoms. We did a whole separate video about solar storm symptoms. I really believe we're going to see more and more of this as we get closer to that solar flip happening in 2015. And we're all just feeling so much energy. There's a lot to tune into, lots of ups and downs, and maybe a little bit topsy-turvy, head spinning, oopsie daisy, did somebody put something in my drink kind of vibes that we're having on this full moon. I just feel motion sickness just thinking about all these high powered transits we're moving into as we come upon this Aquarius water bearer super moon happening on August 19th. It's getting downright trippy, this full moon. And if you know any Aquarius in your life, sometimes it feels a little bit like you don't know where you stand with Aquarius, or you don't know what's going on in your relationship with an Aquarius. Raise your hand if you've ever had this with an Aquarius, because Aquarius can be very fickle beings. They might be your best friend one day and not talking to you the next day. And so there's this not so sure what's going to happen when we get into this Aquarius supermoon. And that word acquaintance relates to Aquarius. And I really feel like I can't get beyond acquaintance with some of my Aquarius friends, because I just don't know, I don't have a deep connection when I have Aquarius friends. I like to delve deep into emotional connection with friends. As a Scorpio myself, I'm a water sign. And Aquarius like to be a little bit, they have a bigger energetic space bubble. They like to keep you at the distance. They don't want you to know what their plans are. They don't want you to know what they're going to do next, kind of thing. So when we get into this Aquarius supermoon, it's like a supreme mystery of what is going to happen next. Because Aquarians, ruled by Uranus, Aquarius is the sign of aliens and higher life forms. And they're so otherworldly, higher minds. I just can't figure out Aquarius. And I cannot figure out what's going to happen with this super moon. What will it bring us? What and when will we ever enter this age of Aquarius that is coming? We're right on the precipice. We're about to have that collective awakening. And then maybe they will open the gates to the age of Aquarius and we can finally enjoy this new world. And hopefully this moon can unite our sense of community and bring us more of a sense of belonging, because this is what Aquarius do best. Aquarius is all about serving the community and how can you help, and volunteering for causes that you believe in, and bringing the community together for a sense of belonging. So fingers crossed we could use that in our world, that kind of connection. And I just recently announced all of the winners of my recent giveaways. I did a bunch of giveaways on my August 9-star key, the Earth Mountain month for the month of August in the 9-star key astrology. And for the astrology readings in the future, I just want to save some time because we have a lot to cover with this Aquarius supermoon. So you can find out if you won. Go to the 9-star key August Earth Mountain reading that I just posted, and you will see the winners for the Lionsgate astrology chart reading and the Red Carnelian Red Flame crystal giveaway. This month, I'm also giving away another astrology reading for the next full moon. In addition, I really want to give away this Ganesh journal. We print these Ganesh journals, and it tells you all about Ganesh. And I'm wearing Ganesh today because we're all going to be wanting to call in Ganesh to help us overcome the obstacles that are coming at us in the next few months with all the retrogrades and the squares. I always say, please, when I'm looking at charts, please, more trines, less squares. But right now we got a lot of squares, so I thought you all could use a Ganesh journal. We sell these on Amazon. I'm going to give one away. So be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to be in it to win it for the Ganesh journal. And I'm also going to give away my Reiki for Abundance book because I have been teaching so many summer Reiki classes and I'm just really enjoying teaching people about Reiki. And even if you don't take a Reiki class, you can learn a lot about Reiki from this book that I wrote that's also available on Amazon. It's available for free download on Audible if you happen to have Audible, and you can listen to the audio version. And I am currently working on doing an online Reiki class that should be available this fall. We're editing all the videos and I should have that up on Teachable this fall. So I'm pretty excited. So I'm going to give this away for the next full moon reading is going to be the September lunar eclipse. Can you believe it? We're already heading into eclipse season. So in addition, I will give away that full moon astrology chart like I do every full moon. But this time I'm going to do it just a little bit different. I am going to have you like, subscribe, and comment, and also sign up for my email newsletter. And there's a link down below for CazimiHealingArts.com. That is my website. When you sign up for my email list, you will be given a free 9-star key mini astrology reading, which is really fun. And then you'll be in it to win it for the chart. For the book and the notebook, you just need to like, subscribe, and comment. But for the astrology chart reading, I'm going to start doing it through my email because then I can use the random auto generator, because the last couple contests I did, I had to write down so many names and put them in my singing bowl, and I think there was a lot of entries. You guys are really starting to come forth for these giveaways, and I have another free Reiki Zoom session with me where I meet you on Zoom and I give you a Reiki distance healing, and that is on my Reiki for weight loss video, so you can enter that one too. But it just makes it easier if I can do the auto generator for these giveaways through my email at Cazimi Healing Arts. So sign up for those giveaways, and I will be announcing them on the next full moon in September with that Pisces lunar eclipse. And I want to quickly unpack the biggest transit that we have on this Aquarius supermoon, which is Jupiter Square Saturn. Jupiter now in Gemini. Raise your hand if you're a Gemini, because when Jupiter enters Gemini, the Geminis get lucky. The Geminis get their wishes granted. So that is good news for you. And Jupiter will square Saturn, which is in Pisces, also really affecting all Pisces, or wherever house your Pisces is in. We all have Gemini and Pisces somewhere, so we will all be affected by this square happening on the supermoon. And it seems like when Jupiter is squaring Saturn, we all might be craving some kind of lucky break or financial windfall to just catapult us into a new reality and save us from our debt, or save us from our situation, or give us that dream house, or give us that new love. We were just really craving to be saved by this Jupiter square Saturn. And this will also have that Mercury Sun Cazimi affecting it, with the Jedi Mind powers squaring Uranus at the exact same time, the planet of surprises. This combination of transits, even though we have squares, this is still a time when you could just quantum leap into a brand new reality before your eyes. There could be some fated events that just show up to put you on a brand new trajectory. that aligns to your divine purpose in some way. With Saturn still being retrograde, it could even be a past life soulmate that comes and offers you a new job or offers you a new opportunity, and it just completely shifts the course of your life going forward. But it all begins within. It's all imagined within your mind and with the stories you are telling yourself. So this is a great time to just get energetically aligned to a higher state of mind and focus on the reality you want and just feel it coming in now. And if you've watched my channel for a while, you know how I feel about these squares and their diamond-making pressure. Squares are not my favorites. Squares bring obstacles. That's why we need Ganesh. Ganesh can help us overcome the obstacles brought by the squares. That's why I'm wearing my Ganesh today. And squares can bring roadblocks to your progress and challenges. But if you look back on your life at those times when you had challenges, or maybe you had a dark night of the soul, or you had some kind of problem, it's those challenges that come from the squares when we are tested that we really grow into the gifts that we are meant to have in this. It's when you really rise to power, when you can empower yourself through a challenging time, when you can heal yourself even at the, at all these healing crises. And it's when we are tested that we grow forth. So the gift of this massive life-altering square between Jupiter, the king who grants wishes, and Saturn, the lord of our karmic lessons. It's ultimately that our soul is being tested now in exactly the way that we need to grow into the person we are born to become. And isn't that really what we signed up for when we agreed to come to this Earth School? So that we would take the hard lessons of Earth School to become a greater person for the soul evolution. Jupiter Square Saturn is soul evolution. And it comes through tests, challenges, obstacles. And there's just no way around it. That's your homework. And if you want to know what area of your life will be tested by this square, look to your Gemini and Pisces houses. What's going on in Gemini and Pisces for you? Leave it in the comments. For me, Gemini is my 11th house of friendship. Pisces is my 7th house of relationships and business partnerships. So I'm looking at those two houses. Where does Gemini and Pisces show up for you? Do you have any planets? Are you a Gemini? Are you a Pisces? Are you Gemini, Pisces rising? All of this matters. And what do you have going on in those houses? Pay attention. If you know your chart, leave it in the comments what's going on in your Gemini and Pisces houses, and I will give you a little mini reading. And if you want to know even more about Jupiter Square Saturn, I'm going to really unpack this in a separate transit where I talk more about the financial implications that are coming from this powerhouse transit that we are going to have 3 times between now and June 2025, 3 of these squares. And these effects will just ripple out into our economy in big ways because Jupiter and Saturn, they both rule over money and wealth in very different ways that I'm going to talk about in that separate report. And as you will learn, there is also a collective awakening connected to this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction that is really exciting, and it's very reminiscent of when Jupiter and Saturn came together on the winter solstice of 2020. If you remember that, they called it the Christmas star when Jupiter and Saturn conjunct on December 21st, 2020, and that brought so much hope for the future and opportunity for growth if you can align to this transit, even though it's a square. When Jupiter is in square with anyone, it's not so bad because Jupiter is such a beneficial planet that even when Jupiter squares Saturn, there's still some good news that you can glean from this square, and watch my other report to learn how. There's still so much to unpack here because we also have Mars-Jupiter conjunction right at the time on the full moon. When Jupiter squares Saturn, Mars will be conjunct Jupiter. And it's too bad this Mars-Jupiter conjunction didn't come in time for the Olympics, because this is a good day. Mars represents ambition, athletic performance, and that competitive spirit that is so useful in athletic sports. It really could have been so good for the Olympics. And when Mars is expanded by Jupiter, we will have a lot of energy on this supermoon. This is a good day to run a marathon, do that cycling race, to accomplish great things. If you have a big project that you need a lot of energy for, Mars conjunct Jupiter is like a strong quad mocha. It's going to give you a lot of energy. And I imagine this will give our political campaigns a lot of fuel for the fire. This would be a great day to have a debate. Too bad they're not debating on August 19th. But on a bad day, Mars conjunct Jupiter can bring aggression, anger, and violence, because of course Mars is the warrior planet that rules over war. And Mars in Gemini has a lot of communications that can be very aggressive. Be careful how you're wording that email. Be careful of your words, hostile words with Mars conjunct Jupiter in Gemini. Just be careful what you say. Tread carefully. This is a do not engage with crazy transit. And things could be heating up out in our world. Lots of unrest. I wouldn't want to be driving, traveling, or in crowded places, because this is kind of an aggressive conjunction when you have it squared Saturn too. Anything could happen. I will probably stay home on this full moon and maybe take a vow of silence that day so I don't say anything I regret out of some stupid frustration. That's the kind of energy of Mars conjunct Jupiter. So just be careful of your words and only speak words of kindness and love. And if you feel cranky at somebody, just write a letter. I always like that exercise where you write a letter but you don't send it, right? And then give yourself a week to think about it. And then we also have Venus squaring Jupiter. So maybe the struggles and challenges you're feeling will be affecting your love life, as Venus gives Jupiter an extra square. And I feel so sorry for poor happy-go-lucky Jupiter, because Jupiter in Gemini is getting the pressure from his boss, which would be Saturn square, and now his girlfriend, Venus square. And this guy needs to take off on a road trip and not look back. But be careful when you try to escape these challenges and obstacles. They're only going to get bigger if you try to avoid or escape them. And they're just not going to go away. They will just get louder. And Venus square Jupiter, that can also be about overdoing a good thing, you know, like drinking too much, eating too much, partying too much, playing hooky, just blowing off everything. Maybe because you met the love of your life, you just blow off work and don't pay your bills, and all you want to do is go to the beach with your loved one and hang out with this new soulmate. But don't forget, you got bills to pay and work to do so you can afford to keep the life you have become accustomed to, right? And your newfound lover might just leave you if you lose your job, car, and home. So have fun, but don't neglect your obligations when Venus squares Jupiter. And Venus in Virgo is also in an exact opposition to that Saturn in Pisces. So that is also causing restrictions to the things you want to be doing that are fun. Saturn says, nope, you got to pay off your debt, you got to pay your bills, you got to go to work, you got restrictions, regulations, there's rules. Not a good time to get a permit right now. With Mercury retrograde anyways, like don't even try to get your permit passed right now. It's going to be so difficult. And this full moon in Aquarius is also in exact opposition to that Mercury retrograde. Sun, Cazimi. Mercury is squaring Uranus. I mean, what could go right? I don't know. I don't want to say what could go wrong, but what could go wrong? I'm predicting we could have internet outages, and we've been having internet outages where I live just because of all the wildfires. We've already seen so many internet and electrical fluctuations because of the solar storms, but could you do your job? Could you do your work without the internet? I'm so curious. I'd like to take a poll. Leave it in the comments if you could work without internet, because I think most people couldn't. I couldn't do astrology very well, but I was giving a massage when we had a major electrical and internet outage where I live, and the only thing that stopped was I play music through my Bluetooth speaker, and so the music stopped, but we just kept going with the massage. I didn't know why there was no music, but it was both the internet and the electricity was out. But I was able to keep calm and carry on with my massage. Not a problem. I could do massages all day long without internet. I could do Reiki all day long, but I wouldn't be able to do the Reiki Zooms as much. And so that would be difficult. I think so many of us just could not get by in this day and age without internet and electricity. We're so dependent on it to pay our bills, to do our banking. But what if we did lose it tomorrow? Do you think we could go back to a simpler time without internet? That is what I'm thinking about, a simpler way of being, like we used to live without all this. And our modern world is so delicately bound to technology now. Could we survive without it? With Mercury retrograde being lit up by this powerful sun in Leo, Cazimi, this can also represent something shocking square Uranus. Uranus is those shocking, surprising events. Something shocking and unexpected happening to someone famous, because Leo rules over fame and fortune, or perhaps it could be just getting famous, finding your own fame suddenly in a surprising way. I'm sure we'll be seeing lots of viral posts under this full moon and possible celebrity scandals. That's what I predict. It's just a really busy making energy of putting out fires, both literally and figuratively. Our world is on fire, and there could be some fires within like the famous people, celebrities, maybe even our election. People are going to have to put out fires. That Mercury retrograde Cazimi squaring Uranus will bring some kind of chaos. And Uranus in Taurus has been all about Earth crisis, climate change. So it may come from sudden Earth-related events, more geomagnetic storms or earthquakes, mudslides, volcanoes, tornadoes, crazy weather patterns, fires. What could go wrong? What could go right? I don't know. I spoke about this in my 8 Earth Mountain Star, my 9-star key reading report for August, and it's always so fascinating when East meets West. Both the Eastern and the Western astrology are both saying we could have a major Earth crisis event on this super blue, it's not a super blue moon, it's just a super moon in Aquarius. And we'll just need to buckle up, because there's also just this whirlwind of revolutionary change. That's what Uranus squares bring, revolutionary change. coming this August, and the 9-star key is the Earth Mountain, which represents revolutionary change as well. But it all begins within. It's really a time to go within. It's a quantum shift that happens within us before we see the outer results. So there's a lot going on in the ethers and the energetic field. And if you're sensitive enough, you might be picking up on these energetic shifts, new energetic downloads. Let me know if you are feeling it. Not everyone feels it, but I think those of us who are empaths or highly sensitive people, we're definitely feeling the shift in the paradigm. And a couple other things to mark your calendar for. The sun will enter Virgo shortly after this full moon on August 22nd. Ceres, the goddess planet of the harvest, stations direct on August 26th. I really hope that's going to help us gardeners. I've had a hard gardening year. And then Mercury, for the love of God, will station direct at the end of this month on August 28th. I can't wait. And Venus enters Libra. Venus, divine feminine rising, enters Libra, lighting up Kamala's sun. Kamala will have a Venus Sun Cazimi. Maybe I'll do a separate report about the Kamala's sun conjunct Venus on the date. But Venus enters Libra on August 29th. That's going to be just beautiful. Venus is one of the natural rulers of Libra, of course. So Venus feels right at home. It's like Venus is finally going home for a little respite. And I think we all kind of want to stay home right now because the energy is so crazy. And Venus wants to go home too, fix up her house, bring some peace, love, and harmony to our planet. I love Venus and Libra. If you are a Venus and Libra, I'd love to know. I think that's one of the best Venus stations. And mark your calendars for September 17th for a full supermoon in Pisces, partial lunar eclipse with Venus nearby, because Venus is going to be affecting this one. This is the first eclipse on that Pisces Virgo axis, and Venus will be transiting over to Venus and Virgo by then. So this is really interesting. The Pisces Virgo nodal axis, where the true north node will be in Pisces from January 11th, 2025 through July 26th, 2026. Get to know your Pisces and Virgo houses in your chart. This is where it's all going to be going down. And it just got interesting, didn't it? These eclipses will have that Saturn in Pisces kicker. And I'm going to start my Eclipse Astrology sale as of right now. So you can find out where in your chart this Pisces lunar eclipse will be affecting you and how it will be affecting you. I will give you an astrology chart reading highlighting the eclipse, an eclipse reading written out. I like to channel these readings from spirit, so I journal write them, and then I give you a written report, and you will receive Distance Reiki, all for just $88. I'm just going to have 13 of these readings available because they take me a lot of time and energy. So there's just 13 available, and it gives me just enough time, if I start them now, to complete them before September 17th. And the link will be in the description to get your Eclipse Astrology chart reading. Get yours before they're gone. I think the Lionsgate reading sold out in 5 days. So finally, I want to talk about the Sabian symbol for Aquarius 27 and why I just sent my husband out to buy me a violet plant. I used to have a beautiful violet. It got all these beautiful purple flowers. And then one day it just went kaput. Do you ever have just a plant? It's funny how many plants, they'll just do so amazingly well. They'll be putting out all these flowers, and then one day they just pass, and it's so sad. So I don't have a violet right now, but I need a violet for this supermoon Aquarius, because listen to this Sabian symbol. An ancient pottery bowl filled with fresh violets. Ooh, I love that imagery. Just close your eyes and imagine that. An ancient pottery bowl filled with fresh violets. And the importance of traditional skills and artistic values that are deeply rooted in man's instinctive feelings as frames of reference for man's most authentic emotions. And violets have often been considered symbols of modesty, service, and humility. And these were understood to be the mark of true womanhood. It is a symbol of delicacy, of feeling. So this aligns, these violets align with that divine feminine rising, because violets are ruled by Venus. And violets are the element of water, which represents the moon and the woman and the yin. Violets are used by poets as symbols of faith, mystical awareness, intuition, inspiration that comes from divine forces, spiritual passion, and sovereignty. All these themes we're working with right now. And if you carry violets in your purse or pocket, they will protect you from wicked spirits, and they bring luck, prosperity, and a swift change of fortune for the better. Ancient Greeks would wear violet essential oils to calm their tempers and induce deep sleep. I think with Mars conjunct Jupiter, we could all use a little violet essential oil to calm our temper and induce deep sleep. And if you gather the first violets in the springtime, your wishes will come true. Oh, I just love that. It's time to get a violet plant. I used to have one, but they are so uplifting. And I read about the violets from this beautiful encyclopedia of magical herbs from Llewellyn. I just love this. I added a little to the Sabian symbol. But I hope you have a happy supermoon. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.